Hi, everyone. This is Jamie from Internal Alignments Healing Arts. And here we are once again in our Spotlight series where we're just having discussions with anyone, everyone. And today we have a special healer on the line with me. This is Quincy Thomas, and he's a Tao Hands Practitioner. So, Quincy, would you tell us a little more about what that is?
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. I appreciate you. Okay, everybody. So Tao Hands is a spiritual transmission that was transmitted to me from a spiritual master. So basically, what that means is a downloaded soul that's downloaded to my spiritual frame. That way I can have more pure God source energy, to flow through me to, act on your behalf or your requests, which it could be for relationships, it could be for physical pain, it could be for literally anything you can think of.
Okay.
So download it to me so that I can be able to help people.
Awesome. And how did you learn how to be a practitioner in this modality?
Yeah, what happened? See, I actually, I had to go through a lot of healing myself. So I started off, in a real bad, depressed state at one point, and to make a long story short, you know, I had got introduced to this healing modality, started studying, and then started actually participating in it. And so that's how I know it works because I used it on myself. Use it on myself. And so yeah, I just kept on with the healing, kept on with the healing, and then finally got to the point to where I started wanting to help people and heal people. And then
Mm.
that's uh, I got started with that.
Okay, so it was a journey. How long was this journey, if you don't mind me asking?
Yeah, I'd say it was about a 5 year long journey. You know,
Hmm.
about 5 years, and yeah, I ended up coming to Portland to actually be closer to a lot of the spiritual masters in this tradition. So I moved from down south and moved to Portland to work with everybody at the Portland Dow Center.
Uh-huh.
That has been for about the last 2 years.
2 years. Okay. And is that a place anyone can go visit or learn?
Well, right now they don't have the Portland Dow Center at this time. It just ended up, closing down for other reasons, but they
Mm.
have them in Toronto right now. They have one in San Francisco right now too, I believe.
Okay.
But you can learn with some of the people that are here, including me, which some of us are still here working on that.
Oh, good. Okay, so you're teaching as well. So,
Oh yeah.
what was this education like? Like, where did you get inspired, or did it just kind of fall in your lap, this modality?
Yeah, it just kind of, to be honest, it just kind of fell into my lap. Literally, my favorite author came to me in a dream and gave me instructions to, well, this author is no longer with us, but
Hmm.
while he was no longer with us, he came to me in a dream and then he gave me instructions to follow. And I followed the instructions, and that's literally how I got introduced to Master Zhi Gang Sha, and that is the spiritual, the main person that teaches all of us,
Uh-huh.
the main group. And yeah, that's how I got introduced to these teachings, and that's how I started to use them to come out of, this horrible depression that I was in. It was one of the worst ever. To the point
Yeah.
to where it was one of those points in life you don't think you're ever going to come back from, or things are ever going to get better. And
Hmm.
so, that's how I got into it.
I see. So it sounded like you were like right smack dab in the middle of what I call a dark night of the soul. And
Oh yeah.
and when the light finds you, it's good that you reached out for it and followed that path. And thank you, because I know you've probably helped a lot of people at this point. Can you tell me a little bit how it works?
Okay, well, basically, what I would do is I would talk with the client and ask, what you're going through, and from 1 to 10, 10 being the most intense and one being the least, what would the pain level be or intensity of the problem,
Hmm.
and then you would tell me, what the number would be. And I get that number in order to gauge, the progress that we have from the session. And so if you would tell me 10, you
Hmm.
would tell me 10 from my knee. We would go ahead. I would ask you to, relax if we were in person, and then I would connect with the downloads. I have more than just the Tao Hands, but that is the main one. But I
Yeah.
would connect with all of the transmissions, and ask you to relax. And then I would go ahead and start to, work with the transmissions and, envision the light, shining, on the problem
Right.
or shining in the area along with chanting certain mantras. I usually do them silently. And
Uh-huh.
then after, I would say, depending on what we're working on, a lot of people don't like to 30 minutes. So you don't want to have somebody in front of you 30 minutes. So we would break it up into, smaller increments. But let's just say 5 minutes and then work with them for 5 minutes and then ask them, how they feel, so far
Right.
and get them to
Okay.
give me a number. So that is generally what we would do.
Okay. And with that number, are you just trying to get it to go down to zero
Yes,
or
definitely.
yeah. Okay. And does that happen every session or do you have to do sometimes multiple sessions for that number to go down to zero?
Yeah, well, depend actually, you could have a miracle at any moment, but sometimes people don't always get miracles. It really, I personally believe in karma and past life karma, and that the teachings that I use is, pretty much we believe in that deal right there. So
Right.
somebody, depending on their karma, you could get a miracle at any moment, So there have been people that have received miracles, and I actually have performed miracles, actually, you know. But there
Hmm.
are times to when things take a lot more time, you know.
Right.
Uh, so you might have somebody who they'll be have cancer actually, you know, and then you a practitioner would work with them, and then the
Hmm.
cancer will start going into remission. And as crazy as that might sound, there are a lot of documented cases that can prove that this is true. You see, now
Hmm.
you might have somebody who leg hurts a little bit, and it might not eradicate it all the way, but it always is progress. No
Right.
matter what, it's progress though.
Uh-huh. Um, so something I find when I'm doing Reiki, especially when people are having pain in the body, when you tap into those areas, just like I do, I can sense there's some like trauma just stuck there or emotional buildup from this lifetime and sometimes other past lifetimes. Do you run into that too?
Yeah, well, I know that it goes on, but I don't really too much run into it or pick up on it unless I'm really trying to pick up on it.
Okay.
But sometimes what I can feel what somebody else is feeling. Sometimes what can happen is I'll see flashes of what's going on in somebody's mind.
Hmm.
I'll see that a whole lot. I deal with that a whole lot, but I really haven't been able to pick up on the past lives at the moment. But
Hmm.
I could definitely feel and see a lot of what somebody is going through to a degree. Definitely see flashes of what's going on with them
I
in my
see. Okay.
yeah.
Do they ever have emotional responses when some energy has been released?
Yeah, usually I haven't had any negative ones. It's just been positive, so people are usually like really surprised that it actually worked, or they're just
Hmm.
really, really happy. There was this one incident where this person had shoulder pain, and it was so bad that they would be crying. That's how bad
Oh,
it was, you
oh,
know.
yeah.
Something else was helping them, and so I did some Tao Hands blessings for them, and actually has it to where it's pretty much to 100%. It's much, 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 much better, pretty much to 100%. I would say 100%, and it was to the point to where they couldn't even operate, without intense pain. You
Oh,
know, yeah,
yeah.
I have a lot of stories like that actually.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. So, what kind of clients do you normally take? Is it just people in pain or are there other things going on?
Yeah, I would take it's been a variety. It's been a variety of things. People that have going through emotional stuff. Things with their lives. Emotional pain.
Mm-hmm.
Turmoil, problems in their relationships. Mental anguish. I deal with a whole lot of that. People that are just in general pain. But for me, it seems like it's more of people that are having the emotional turmoil, and yeah, it's more of that than anything else that's been attracted to me. And yeah, been able to help
Mm-hmm.
a lot of people. I want to help a lot more, but definitely mostly emotional turmoil. Yeah,
Okay.
it's a lot of.
So it sounds like when someone's feeling super chaotic within themselves, you are a really good resource for them. So thank you for
Yeah,
that.
right.
So when we had talked before, we were kind of dove into the aspect of the soul when it comes to the Tao hands. Can you tell me a little bit more how you work with the soul, or oftentimes it's more the soul is working with you? How do you how do you decipher that?
Yeah, basically, Master Zhi Gang Sha, the teaching is that we work on the soul of the problem, the soul of the energy first, of the injury first. So
Okay.
that's always going to be with that modality. It's always going to be working mainly with the soul because you transform the soul first, and then
Hmm.
everything else will follow, and everything pretty much ultimately it's all dealing with the soul first, the soul of your arm, the soul of a problem. Everything has a soul.
Got it.
Actually, yeah, Master Zhi Gang Sha, he is a Taoist master, and in the Taoist teachings they teach that everything has a soul, and so we're
Wow.
working with the soul first. And so you have a relationship problem, and the soul of that relationship is what gets worked on. And in spiritual practices, you can always call another soul. Actually, like the more negative spiritual practitioners, whenever they're doing dark work, and they are actually attacking your soul first. That's what they do. You see what I'm saying? But there's the
Yeah.
good side, like we are, calling your soul. Your soul comes, and then we're working with your soul in a positive instead of a negative. And
Mm,
so the whole deal with the soul, the
yeah.
soul healing.
I see. Okay, so that kind of reminds me of because I do a lot of shamanic work and continuously learning, and we've
Mm-hmm.
been learning a lot about soul retrieval. So it kind of there's a parallel, it sounds like, when it comes to the Tao hands working with the soul, and the soul retrieval is like you go straight into that energetic space and just bring it back together to an alignment, to a balance. Um, Something I feel like I should ask is what do you can you see the soul? Like, are there colors, images, or is it more vibration? How do you know you're actually connected with the soul?
Well, basically, what goes on is you're just basically following a protocol, no matter what, and you have to
Okay,
trust in the protocol if you can't spiritually see.
okay.
If you don't have open third eye. So, basically, no matter what, you are trusting the protocol of the system, whether you have the spiritual sight, the third eye being open or not. But if you do have a third eye that's open, you can see the soul when it's called to you, or
Mm-hmm.
what you will see the actual injury or
Okay.
problem. It'll look like actual darkness. So you'll see it in the body. It'll look like actual darkness. You like somebody has a lung problem, whatnot. It'll be like darkness right there in the lung. You
Right.
know, yeah. So it can be seen.
Gotcha.
Definitely.
Okay. Okay. And that's how you experience it and know how to work with it. So, um, it really feels like from what you're saying is this is really intuitive work, yet it's not just like, oh, let's see what happens along the way. You actually have steps and a system you have in place, and then use your intuition intermingled with that, with the down hands, because you're transmitting energy, right? And like programming your client. It's when I say programming, is that kind of like taking them back to their blueprint or baseline, or is it more like just rearranging what's been there?
Well, how could I put it? I guess you could say, okay, if somebody would have a problem with their knee, you would connect with heaven. You would ask to be able to fix, to be able to help this person or whatnot. So
Okay.
actually, I guess you could say you would be working on straightening out their karma. Because basically you're asking to be able to heal and bring it back to the original state. So I guess you could say, in a way, could bring it to back to the original blueprint, but I would look at it more of serving humanity, and then like you are this person, that I guess you could say like you're on the saint journey, and so you are working with that more than changing it to the blueprint. It's like
I see.
you are
Okay.
for that. You know,
So it's more like heal this so that they can go to the next level, so
yeah,
to
that's
say.
one way to look at it. That's one way to
Okay.
definitely look at it.
Okay, that's cool. Okay, that makes sense. Because this is such a new modality to me. I know it's been around for a long, long time, but you're really the first person that I've run into that does the Tao hand. So this is like super fascinating to me, honestly. It's like,
Hmm.
oh, something new, something I don't know about. Um, do you use any tools besides just your intuition and hands? Do you have other tools you use for your
Well,
sessions?
yeah, they have what they call a spiritual pendulum that's downloaded to us. And
Okay.
so you can ask questions to the spiritual pendulum, and then you program it a certain way to where they gives yes or no answers to you. And so
Okay.
if you're working with a client, you can ask heaven for yes or no answers, and then you'll get those depending on how you have it programmed. It's that
Uh-huh.
I have other transmissions that are downloaded. Like you'll have one called Rainbow Liquid Spring of Tao Love Transplant, or it's names like that. I have several of them, but
Okay.
those basically are transmissions like the Tao Hands
Uh-huh.
transmission, just different names. But the Tao Hands is definitely the main one, and I have the advanced version, which is a Tao Dai Tao
Okay.
Hands, which means Da means greatest love. So that's the greatest love of God, So that's
Yeah.
why I call it I.
Okay. So, when you say transmissions, is that just like a sense of knowingness, or do you see like symbols or images?
Basically, they're karma free souls that are downloaded to your spiritual frame forever, and it
Okay.
allows more pure God source energy to move through you. And yeah, that's the short way to put it.
Okay. Okay. I was curious because, I'm a Reiki master, and one of the big
Mm-hmm.
things about Reiki are the Reiki symbols and the attunements, which is very similar because those are tools in Reiki that helps you access. that God universal energy in the most truest and purest form. And then on
Mhm.
top of that, it helps direct the healing itself. So it sounds like same for you. And so with these downloads, you know, was it hard to embody this, or did it just feel like it came naturally?
Well, sometimes I actually felt them coming in, and it wasn't a bad feeling; it was a good feeling. But
Uh-huh.
sometimes it could be, you'd be surprised that you felt something. But you can feel them whenever you work with them too. So it hasn't been hard. Now there's some of them that you couldn't get if you weren't able to embody the frequency and vibration. So if you still had negative a certain amount of negativity going around in your head, and certain things, then you couldn't receive some of them just yet at that
Gotcha.
point because it would require you to have less negativity in you. But you can definitely feel them whenever you receive them. You can see them with your third eye sometimes too. You know,
Okay.
so yeah. Also, this Tao calligraphy. I use Tao calligraphy to heal with. And that is a
Okay.
literal portal to heaven. And then I use that to actually help to heal clients as well. But the Tao hands is the main one. You can actually feel your hand lighting up with energy and tingling and all of that a lot of time.
Okay. Okay. Can you tell me more about this Tao calligraphy? Is it like something you draw while you're with the client, or do you already have templates and they feel into it? How does that work?
Yeah, Master Shah, it's him. He was the only lineage holder at one time, but now there's two. One of his students is the second one, but he's already drawn them. And
Okay.
basically, yeah, he's already drawn them. And basically, it's the Shinchi Jing. It's Shinchi Jing of heaven in it because of how the power he puts in it and then how he draws it. And it's a whole system. But all we do pretty much is connect with it for the client, or ourselves. And then we trace the calligraphy. Of course, we make prayers and whatnot, but we trace the
Right.
calligraphy. Yeah, and then it connects us with that energy through the meridians of the fingers. That's one way you can do it whenever you trace with the fingers. Because
Uh-huh.
each finger represents, a certain element inside of your body, as per traditional Chinese medicine. And
Got it.
so it can, with all those meridians, and then you're tracing the path. And so the good energy is coming in and it's taking out that bad energy. But whenever
Yeah.
your third eye is open, you can see the light shooting from the calligraphies. You might even see, like I've seen literally on a Christmas day, I have literally seen a golden glittery red gift box come to me right there in my third eye, like one of the strongest third eye images I ever seen coming out that calligraphy. One
Wow.
on a Christmas day. That is a true story.
Wow. That is such a blessing. Good for you,
Oh yeah,
you know? It's like, um, it's such a those are such special moments.
oh
It's
yeah.
like those are those transformational moments. Even if it's like not big, huge, fireworks, there's still something in that moment that is tangible. So, Merry Christmas to you, huh?
Yeah, Merry Christmas. I've actually seen something that looked like fireworks shooting from the calligraphy. Actually, I'm
Really?
not exaggerating. One day,
Really? Do you
yeah,
remember what the intention was before that happened?
yeah. Well, I was watching a webcast that they had where it was I don't remember exactly what the event was, right? But it was on webcast, and then Master Shah had brought out this calligraphy, and then whenever the blessing started, out of the calligraphy, I seen like blasts of light coming that look like the fireworks that get when they were like 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That's what it looked like. And
Wow.
it really put me out. And then I remember telling the spiritual master I was working with that time, Master Paul Fletcher, I was like, man, I just seen all this light coming out of this calligraphy. He's like, that's the power of what Master Sha brings. Yeah, it looked like fireworks. I'll never forget it.
Wow. Okay. And so this calligraphy works
Yeah,
with the meridians in the body, or is it just the Tao hands that works with the meridians as well?
not well. The Tao calligraphy, it works with the meridians, but it also works with the soul, all the souls that you're working with, the souls of the problem, the souls of the knee, or any of that. But it is
Okay.
a literal portal. It's basically it's a good portal to the heaven dimensions. It's only
Got it.
somebody would have to see to use it. If you would use it to start working with it, you will see. But
Ah,
The Dow hands works with. He can work with the meridians. It can work with anything. It basically just more God source energy is coming through the Dow hands to whatever we want to use them for.
oh, okay. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
See, like when you talk about it, it sounds so complicated, but I feel like, that the session is probably super simple. It's just
Oh yeah,
it's really, do your clients feel like it's such a gentle energy or healing they're receiving?
yeah, they do. They do. Yeah, I've never had anything bad, like any bad experiences or anything like that. But you know, what I can say is sometimes, you know, people will be surprised how much it works. How much it works. But yeah, it's gentle. It's not anything. What okay. Sometimes what can happen, which is not a bad thing, but sometimes you might get real hot, you
Right.
know, and start having a little shaking, but it's nothing that is, I would say, gonna bother you and you're able to not do what you need to do, but
Hmm.
you might get hot. And that's
Okay.
because a lot of negativity is burning off. So not burning, but just, coming off of
I
people.
see. Okay. After your sessions, do you check back in with your clients to see how they're doing? And do you notice that these changes seem stable or do they kind of fall back out for a moment? Oh, that's a beautiful image.
Yeah, usually, right afterwards, I'll ask them how they're doing or whatnot. But, if after a couple of days, I'll check on them, through email or, phone call or whatnot. Ask them
Uh-huh.
how they, what would be the rating of the problem thus far, as far as, 1 through 10, and just go ahead and just talk to them about, everything. Just and move forward with that, however.
Yeah. Okay. And they seem to be doing well in general and come
Yeah.
back if they need it or something.
Yeah, usually sometimes it'll definitely take more than one session, but there's been times when it, didn't take that.
Okay. I see. I see. So when we talked, I had asked you, how much do your sessions cost? And you said your sessions are free. Just, you do accept donations, but you feel
Mhm.
like this is more just generally to help.
Yeah, well, I've been helping a whole lot of people just doing, free work, but I would say 5 Dow Hands blessings. I would say they would be like an hour each time. That would be like, about $200. But most
Yeah.
times, I've been in a situation where I've been, just helping people that really couldn't pay, but yeah, that it'd be a price like that, something that's not too serious. And depending on what people could do, I have actually done different prices, but generally that's what it would be. I actually have a website where, all the prices are named,
Okay.
heavenshealing.net, where
Okay.
everything is. But yeah, I've done a lot of work just helping people mostly.
Okay. All right. Well, that's awesome. Thank you. We'll make sure to have your website in the description below. And is there any other way that people can contact you if they're interested in the Dow Hands or want to schedule a session?
Yeah, you can contact me, on my Facebook, Quincy Thomas. God's Gladiator 444 is the Instagram handle.
Okay.
You contact me there. You contact my email. I'll have everything here. You can contact me in any of those ways, and we can get started. Or if people have questions, I'd be happy to talk with anybody and everybody. I actually care, and so I want
Yeah.
to get everybody the help that they need. And there is help out there. And things, you never know how fast things can transform.
It's
And what
true.
good things
It's
are
true.
around the corner for you. And there are good things around the corner because I know from myself in my own life that that's
Yeah.
possible.
That's so true. Good things around the corner. And then, when you look back at your situation, there's always this interesting silver lining. It's like, okay, that's the string I followed to get around the corner to the good stuff. Mm,
Exactly.
awesome.
Mhm.
All right, Quincy, is there anything else, any last minute things you want to express or let people know about the Dow Hands or about yourself?
Yeah, basically just like I was saying before, you never know what good thing is right around the corner. You never know what good thing can happen for you. Just like bad stuff can happen, good stuff can happen too. And
Hmm.
then I fully believe that if somebody's watching this, then you probably that's a call for to see exactly what it is that I'm talking about. I would love to help you. You know,
Hmm.
this right here, this modality it's serious. It's serious. It's powerful. You know, I would love to help. I would love to help,
Okay.
and I care. You know, so
All
if
right.
anything else, I would love to help people.
Okay. Awesome. Well, thank you, Quincy, so much for your time today. Thank you for showing up and letting us know where your passion is and what you're here to do. We all have this mission or purpose in life, and it seems like you've really started diving into it, um, became, mastered yourself within the process and helping others do the same. So thank you very much.
I appreciate you too as well.
Yeah.
You do everything and for what you do too.
Oh, thank
Yeah, you
you.
help a lot of people, and you're on the internet. I see what you do. And yeah, yeah, you do a whole lot for people too.
Awesome. Thank you. That's our job, right?
Yeah, you're making it happen.
Yeah, that's right. The more of us that do it, I truly believe that the more of us that heal ourselves and help others understand their own personal healing, one day it'll be that tipping point in society. And it's going to be a beautiful thing where, we've been asking for peace on earth for thousands of years. I feel like we're getting closer and closer to that. So with people like us, we'll just keep working at it.
Oh yeah, we're making it happen. That's for sure.
Yeah, exactly. All right, Quincy. Well, I'll talk to you another time, okay? Bye, everyone.
Okay, no problem.
Yeah. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe as well.
Yes, indeed.